Can you actually build out a functioning web application, a full-blown SaaS product using nothing but AI? Well, in this video, I'm going to use Lovable to do exactly that. So stay tuned. It's going to be a wild ride. I'm a content creator, and as a content creator, I create a lot of videos like the one you're watching right now. And for every video that I create, I need to research it, do some competitive analysis, figure out what other people are doing online. Then I got to outline it, then I got to manuscript it, then I got to prepare all of my links and everything for the description. And I thought to myself, what if there was a way to do this in one place? Because I tend to write my ideas down everywhere, pieces of paper, Apple Notes, Notion, Google Docs. But what if we just brought it all into one place? This is my idea. Is it a good idea? I'm not really sure. It might be a bad idea, but it's an idea. And that's where Lovable comes into play. It's a place where you can take an idea like this really loose one that I have and hopefully turn it into an application in seconds. I have my Lovable account. It's a paid account. I've played around with it a little bit and I've built a couple of things, but today we're going to try to build a full functioning SaaS application just using some prompts. And so let's dive in, because not only do I have Lovable open, but I also have a Figma file. And inside this Figma file, I've done very little work. And by very little, I mean almost none at all. I'll prove it to you. I have a couple of colors that I selected, the hex codes there. I had Figma's first draft mock up a really ugly layout. In this layout, I have a top bar that has search, branding, and a call to action to create a new note. I have my videos storing up in a left-hand bar. I have a place where I can write all of my outlines for that new note. And I have a bunch of recommended video topics. Hopefully we can pull in some API information from other places, or at least set it up to do so. That's all I got. So when I say I did very little work, I mean, literally, I let AI do the large majority of that work. Is it beautiful? No. This is going to be a minimum viable product at best. So with that said, let's jump back over to Lovable and let's get started. I want to create a note-taking application for YouTubers where they can research trending videos and write new outlines. That's it. That's all I want to do. Now, it's going to let me attach something if I want to, or I can import something directly from Figma. That's not a bad idea at all. Why don't we go ahead and do that? I'm going to press import, and here's what Lovable tells me. It's going to use the builder.io Figma plugin, and I can select a specific frame and then export to code using Lovable. Great, that sounds pretty simple. Let's head back over to our design. I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to open up the builder.io plugin. And I'll probably have to connect my account if it's not already connected. Oh, it's already connected. Look at that. So now all we have to do is press export design, and it's going to do the work for me. Just like that, it's given me some options. One of them is not a great option at all. The other one, pretty close. I can see it in desktop and mobile. We'll go ahead and choose that one, and then I'm going to open it in Lovable. I'm going to go ahead and connect with Builder and do the connection right now. All right, it's made the connection. It's sending all that information, and it's creating that product for me right now. And very, very quickly, you'll see that it started to build out my product. Now, again, is it perfect? No, not at all. Is it something to start working with? Absolutely, yes. Let's click around here. We have a search bar here. Search bar is not really working. I can't click on my videos yet. I actually kind of like how it shoved the recommended video topics to me in there instead of having it underneath the whole thing. So this is pretty good. Now we need to kind of like clean up the layout here and then start creating some of the functionality. So first thing we want to do is make sure that the container, we want to make the container fill 100% viewport height. Let's see if it can make that switch, make that change for me. All right, it did it. It definitely figured it out. I just need to make a couple of more edits. And again, I'm not going to get too caught up here on the layout. It's going to look really, really ugly. What I really want is functionality. Let's go ahead and stop editing. Now it's time to add some functionality to this super ugly layout. First thing I need to do is obviously be able to create new ideas or new notes. I want this call to action button up here in the top right to create a new note and hopefully get that new note to show up here in the top of my stack and then have absolutely clean content or a clean content area. So why don't we just prompt it to do that? Make the CTA in the top right create a new note when clicked. This should add a new video row to the top of the, I'll put this in parentheses, my videos. All right, it's updated. Let's see if that worked. We can click new idea. There it is, a new note right there. And hopefully we are typing inside of that new note. Let's hit new note again. And we are not switching out the content, but we are adding that new note to the row. That's totally cool. No problem. We need to now connect the individual rows here with unique content in the right-hand bar. So let's go ahead and do that. Each video in your videos section should represent a unique note. When clicking on those rows, it should load the data from that note into the editor view. All right, and just like that, it's made the update, and we can just refresh it to make sure things are working really well. Look, now we get some hover abilities here. Let's click on that, click on that. Nothing is really shifting yet, so if we write a note in here and click over, that's not really happening. What if we write new note? We are getting a small toast banner down here that a new note has been added to my videos, which is pretty cool, but we're still not getting the functionality that we were looking for in this area. So with that being said, we're just going to tell it that it's not working. So it's not working like I wanted it to. Each note should store the info from the note editing box on the right. These should get stored in a database and then served up when a user clicks on the note. And I'm going to put a reference here, like Apple Notes. It says, I'm going to help you implement a note storage and retrieval system similar to Apple Notes, where each note stores the content from the editor. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Let's go, Lovable. All right, now we've hit our very first error, and this is really, really common using Lovable. And the great news is I don't need to know how to fix it. I can just tell it that the app encountered this error. Go ahead and try to fix it for me, and it's going to identify the error, what the issue is. It gets a certain error, and it's going to go line by line and fix the error for me. All right, it's updated, and let's see if it works. We're able to click on our notes now and recall the absolute unique content inside of it. That's amazing. We did that in just a couple of prompts. We asked it to fix itself, and sure enough, it did. Now, the only problem that I have here so far is that we can't edit or update inside of a note or a new note, the title here. It's actually given us a timestamp. That's not something I had in my design, but I really appreciate it because it should have a timestamp. So this is really, really good. The search functionality is not working. Why don't we get the edit here to work? I'm going to click on the H1 here and tell it this note title should be editable. And we should see the updates happen live in the Your Videos sidebar. All right, we've updated things, and we should be able to click into the notes now and actually click over here and say test, test, test. And it does, in fact, change the title. And if we were to add a bunch of gobbledygook onto the end of this note, switch over notes and come back, it's not storing and hanging onto the new stuff. But again, that's probably a database issue. We're going to do database stuff here in a second, but now I can see that I can create new notes. I can start typing things into that new note, and I can change the title to that new note. And at least we're getting that initial storage of information. Of course, if I refresh my application, oh, in this case, it actually did stay, which is quite nice. Let's see if we can get that gobbledygook to stay. It seems like I have to press tab to save things. So we actually, it seems like, need a save button. Why don't we add a save button? All right, and just like that, it actually gave us a save button with an old school floppy disk. I'm into it, I like it. So now we can go into a note here. We can actually type and it'll auto save there. And if we type here, give it a couple seconds, it does in fact auto type there as well. But we also have a save button just in case we make changes, press save, it's going to do the same thing. So now there's no questions for our user how they actually create notes, update those notes, and then save any of those updated notes. We're going to move on to databases, but before we do that, I want to add some search functionality to my web application. I have this search box up here, but right now it's not doing anything. I would like to get real-time user feedback and start to filter down on notes that are matching my search or my query. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the edit button here. Why don't we go and just find that div that has the input field in it. And I'm going to say, make this search field functional. So when the user searches, it starts filtering the notes found in the your video section. All right, it's updated, and sure enough, if we type the words how to, we start to get some results there, or the word unlocking here. So let's just do something like unlock. There it is. And it should be filtering not only the titles, but the content inside. So if I was to write the word Jesse inside of here, it saves. Hopefully we can come back and see that. And I look for Jesse. Sure enough, it's finding the note that has my name inside of it. Now that's pretty cool, but I've noticed something that we haven't gotten right yet, which is we have the ability to save notes, create notes, and search for and filter notes, but we don't have a way to delete notes. So we need to take care of that as well. Why don't we just add one more prompt in here that says add a delete note button next to the save button. I'm going to put not next to, but left of the save button. When this is clicked, it should delete the current note, but add a confirmation dialog first. All right, after a couple of changes, we've moved the layout around a little bit. I actually removed the global call to action up here, replace it with an avatar so the user can eventually go log out of their account. The search is still working correctly, which is nice. And we have a new and a delete button here. So we can add a new note. We could delete that note, take that note and rename it to something like that. And what's up in there, press save. That's all working. And we come back and it is storing the state of our notes. We've done almost everything we needed to as far as functionality. And I'm going to skip everything else and move into getting authentication set up, because if we can get authentication working, then we can have a database where we can let users sign up or log in, create their account, and let them start using the product. So let's do that right now. The first thing to do is actually just tell Lovable that we want to use Superbase as a database for us. So we're going to come to a prompt and say, I want to connect this to a Superbase database and create authentication and login, as well as allow users to create accounts and store their own notes in their accounts. All right, so we've told Lovable our intentions, and that's actually kind of a cool thing to keep in mind, is that as you're doing things, you can tell it your intentions. You don't have to have the answers, you just have to have an idea of what you want. And so it says to implement authentication, you'll need to connect your Lovable project to Superbase using our native integration. Once connected, great, awesome, so on and so forth. It's telling us that's what we need to do. So I'm going to hit Superbase up here in the top right-hand corner, and I have a couple of projects in here. I'm going to create a new project just like this. All right, so I've created a new project over here in Superbase, and as soon as I do that, I can head back to my project in Lovable, open up here, and just go ahead and connect that Contentland project that I've created. So go ahead and connect that. And just like that, we are connected to our database. It's told us all the things that we can do, like user accounts and logins, store and use real data, and add advanced features. So what I want to do first is I'm going to tell it to store and use real data. So you can see something really amazing happening. Lovable is recommending different tables to create with different row level security, and it's doing all of that in SQL. And as soon as we say apply those changes, it's connected now to Superbase. So it's going to tell Superbase to do all that work, and Lovable has our project in mind. So it knows all the different objects, all the different properties, all the things that we might need. It's going to start sending that information over to Superbase. Notice how it's already creating that notes object, has a unique user ID. It has a title, content, the created time, and updated timestamps. So it's creating all of this database structure for us right now on the fly without us having to do a single line of work. Okay, so it has actually created our authorization page. Let's go ahead and create an account. This is actually pretty cool because it sent me an email authorization. So we need to confirm our sign up. Okay, now we can sign in. Let's try just real quick. Boom, we have signed in. Okay, great, just like that. And we have nothing on screen. We are inside of our account actually. So authorization is in fact working, and the logout button is working. So with that being said, we have no notes. Let's create a new note here. And we'll title this note test note, and we'll put some gobbledygook inside of our note. It doesn't have an image associated with it yet, and that's okay. Let's create a couple of new notes here. So also something, let's do a shopping list here and do another new note and something else here. Great. That's fantastic. We have created a functional MVP, a minimum viable product. Now let's create the marketing page that will serve to sell this product to our potential clients or customers. So to do that, I am going to head back into Lovable. I've actually opened up my Figma file, and I have this easy little landing page here. I'm going to go ahead and I've exported it as an image. I'm going to attach that image and just find it on my desktop. There it is, like that. And we're going to ask Lovable to build the marketing/landing page that users visit that allows them to go to the login. Okay, and with just a few prompts, a couple of clicks, Lovable has created a pretty decent landing page based off of our design. You can click on areas and scroll down. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect yet, but it has the basics going for it. And the biggest thing is that our users are landing here on our home page as the initial landing spot of our website. They can click login and log in to our actual account where you can see our notes that we've already created and stored. Click on that, create those new notes, and then again, log out anytime you're ready. This is a massive accomplishment, and no joke, I've done all of this in probably about 25 to 30 minutes. This is now ready for me if I want to update it, customize it. If I want to move over to dev mode and I have some coding experience, I can be looking in the files here, updating things, the hooks, the routes, the components. Or if I really want to, I could just push this whole thing up to GitHub and make it available for my developers. As I start to launch this MVP, I'm really looking for validation at this point for my SaaS product, and this is a fantastic way to do it using Lovable. But I want to know what you think about this process. Are you interested in building your own SaaS applications, web applications, using an agentic AI tool like Lovable? If you are into it or not, let me know down in the comments. Let's start a conversation about it. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell so you know when there's more videos like this one that come out. Hope you're having an amazing week, designing amazing things, making amazing things. I'll see you in the next one.